Man, talk about a nail biter. Did you see that Chiefs game?
Oh, yeah. Definitely a game that went down to the wire.
To pull off a win like that with Mahomes playing on a bum ankle, that's got to say something about the Chiefs' resilience.
Yeah.
But let's not forget what happened to Tank Dell. That injury looked rough.
Absolutely brutal.
So we've got a ton to break down today, folks. Game recaps, expert opinions, and all the latest on the payoff picture.
Yeah, there's a lot to dig into. Should be an interesting deep dive today.
Let's start with those Chiefs, huh?
Yeah.
14-1.
Right.
I mean, they just keep on winning.
You know, it's impressive, right? Especially when you consider that they're not just scraping by. They're actually dominating. Like in this game against the Texans, Mahomes with a high ankle sprain, and he still puts up 260 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Not to mention that incredible rushing touchdown.
Longest of his regular season career, I heard.
Exactly. The guy is tough as nails. We've seen other quarterbacks sidelined for weeks with similar injuries, but Mahomes just keeps going.
Almost makes you wonder if a little bit of adversity brings out the best in him.
Could be. And hey, it wasn't just Mahomes.
Oh, yeah, the rookies really stepped up.
Worthy and Brown, particularly given the struggles the offensive line was having, they really showed their potential.
Definitely players to watch in the future. And, of course, the defense can't go unmentioned.
Oh, for sure. Hicks and McDuffie both grabbing picks that led to points. That's the kind of defensive performance that wins championships.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's talk about Tank Dell. That injury was just heartbreaking. Dislocated kneecap and a torn ACL after scoring a touchdown. You hate to see that happen to any player.
Yeah, no kidding. Such a tough break, especially after making such a great play. So how big of a loss is this for the Texans, you think? Especially with the playoffs just around the corner.
Well, Dell has been a major weapon for them, averaging over 15 yards per reception. So losing that kind of firepower, especially right now, it's got to hurt. And then on top of that, they lose safety Jimmy Ward for the season as well. Another huge blow to their defense. Midfoot sprain, need surgery. Just a rough week for the Texans, man.
You said it. Clinch the AFC South, then lose 2 key players. It's like taking 2 steps forward, then getting knocked back 1.
Exactly. It's going to be interesting to see how they adjust, especially for that next game against the Ravens at home.
No doubt about it. A game that already had huge implications for the Texans just became that much more important.
Speaking of important games, the Chiefs are looking pretty good right now in terms of securing that #1 seed in the AFC. 87% chance of getting home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Not bad at all.
Yeah, it's huge. You know, we talk a lot about momentum and all, but home field advantage in the playoffs is just massive. It's not just about the crowd and feeling comfortable, although those things definitely help. But logistically, it means no travel disruptions, less fatigue, you get to stick to your routines, and of course, the opposing team has to deal with your environment. And let's be real, playing in Kansas City in January, that's not easy for a lot of teams.
No, not at all. You know, one thing that stood out to me in the game summaries is that C.J. Stroud's performance, while not terrible on the surface, he was 22 of 34 for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he also threw 2 interceptions, and those picks really hurt the Texans at critical points in the game.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the context really matters. Sure, his completion rate looks decent, but it's actually lower than a season average, and those 2 picks were costly.
It's really a game of inches, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, especially in the NFL. Every play matters.
So looking ahead, it seems like the Chiefs have a relatively clear path forward, right? They just got to manage Mahomes' ankle, and their remaining games are against the Steelers and Broncos teams they should be able to handle.
You would think so, but that's why they play the games, right?
Very true. Okay, but what about the Texans? How do they adapt and overcome these injuries to make a legitimate run in the playoffs?
Well, on offense, it's going to be all about finding ways to compensate for Dell's absence. He was such a threat to stretch the field, so now they've got to figure out how to create those explosive plays without him.
Right, and on defense, it's all about filling the void left by Jimmy Ward. Someone needs to step up and become a leader in that secondary.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Texans' defense might start to crumble.
And that's what makes this next game against the Ravens so crucial. It's a chance for the Texans to prove that they can overcome adversity and still be a contender.
All right, so as we wrap things up here, we see the Chiefs on the verge of clinching that top seed in the AFC, while the Texans are facing some serious challenges. But hey, that's the NFL for you, right? Always unpredictable.
Exactly, and that's what keeps us coming back for more. But I'm curious, considering all that we've discussed, the Chiefs' potential home field advantage and the Texans' uphill battle, which team do you think has the stronger path to the Super Bowl?
Ooh, tough question. It's definitely a toss-up. But we want to hear from you, listeners. Let us know on social media which team you think has the edge and why. Whatever happens, the NFL playoffs are going to be a wild ride, and we'll be here to break it all down for you. So stay tuned, everyone.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.